YouTube, sort it out. You can label a video as for kids and also for over 18s. How confusing is that? What are we supposed to do with that? Please let us know. Hello there. So last week I uploaded a video where I talked about COPPA, and I made a few mistakes, and I wasn't alone in that. A lot of people made the mistakes that I did, and I want to clear those up a little bit in this video. So I'm going to talk about exactly what COPPA means for creators. Now, I've also changed my mind about the approach I'm going to take following the implementation of COPPA. And I'm going to make a few changes to my channel. I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. And finally, I'm going to talk about the future, because I think actually this COPPA situation is pretty dire for YouTube creators, but there is light, potential light, at the end of the tunnel. So do stick around until the end of the video for that. So firstly, COPPA. In my previous video, I said that COPPA was basically there to protect children from inappropriate content. In actual fact, that isn't the case at all. I've had reams and reams of comments from people explaining to me exactly what COPPA is for. It isn't what I said. It's not to stop children seeing Peppa Pig. I'll stop there. It's actually to stop YouTube collecting data from people under the age of 13. So I don't quite understand why that's a problem. It's something to do with if you collect data from children, then they can be targeted in certain ways, so it's meant to protect them. So I wasn't wrong in the sense that it's supposed to protect children, but the way in which it protects them is slightly different. Practically, I don't think it makes a blind bit of difference to you or I. We're still a bit screwed by COPPA. And I say you because you may be a creator, or you may be somebody who watches YouTube videos. It's going to affect you, because essentially, if you're a creator, you now have to label your videos as for kids, if you think that not only that they're targeted at children, but that they could appeal to children, and therefore YouTube could accidentally collect data from children. So you have to do that, otherwise you could potentially have your channel shut down, your video removed, or in the worst case scenario, get sued for, 43,000 quid, which would, if you think about it, would probably put a dampener on things, wouldn't it? Especially before Christmas. So rather than find a way around the problem themselves, find a way of making sure that people were over the age of 13, they've basically decided to push all the legal responsibility onto the creators and said, look, you deal with it. And if you're unsure as to whether or not your video is for kids, go and see a solicitor. Yeah, because that's a reasonable thing to ask people to do, isn't it? Somebody who uploads a video once a week or something, or once a month, go and see a solicitor to make sure you're not going to get sued by the US government. What a fantastic solution. It's not very British, put it that way. Maybe it's an American thing, I don't know. I mean, it disgusts me a little bit, to be frank, and I think it's disgusted a lot of creators. What are we supposed to do? Because actually, it's not as clear-cut as you might think. As I alluded to in my previous video, if your channel reviews Duplo or something, which is a children's Lego toy, then yeah, your videos are targeted at kids. But say you just review Lego in general. Are your videos targeted at kids? Is the very fact that your video is about Lego, does that mean it could appeal to kids? This is exactly the problem we're facing. And the risk-reward ratio here, the risk of being sued, 43 grand, or the reward, 5 or 10 quid in advertising revenue, it's kind of pushing things towards people not uploading, isn't it? To stopping altogether. And I've had a fear for quite some time that this is YouTube's grand plan to sort of cleanse YouTube and turn it into a professional platform where only proper production companies upload videos. And actually this is a view apparently shared by some viewers. I had one person comment on a video and say to me that it was about time that YouTube creators realised that they didn't deserve to make a living off YouTube. Thankfully I don't, and I'm very glad that I haven't made this my full-time job. Well, firstly because I'd be potless, and secondly because I'd permanently be on edge about what YouTube changes are going to occur that are going to screw me over and make me homeless. So yeah, I'm glad. So these YouTube changes are incredibly scary in my opinion and could lead to the demise of a lot of children's channels or channels that are just about things that could potentially appeal to children. So you mark something as for kids and then YouTube will apparently not then display certain types of ads, and I've seen estimates that that will cause a reduction of up to 90% in advertising revenue. It's going to make a lot of these channels commercially not viable for their creators, isn't it? True, a lot of these people have, Patreons and they're sponsored and they've got affiliate links in their videos, so they make money that way. But, I've been doing YouTube for quite some time, something like 6 years or something. And yeah, I've got some of these other streams, but my main source of income is still advertising revenue. Basically means that I would be a fool to carry on reviewing Lego sets on this channel. And that brings me on to my next point, which is what I said I would do in my previous video, which was take all those old Lego videos down. And I've put them back up and I've labelled them as for kids. They don't get many views, but I'm not going to get sued for labelling something as for kids. I'm actually going to get sued if I don't label something as for kids. So there's no reason to take any videos down. But I am going to hugely change the direction of my channel. So this channel's always been a huge, variety is the polite way to put it. Just mishmash of crap is probably a kind of more accurate way of putting it. I just upload anything on this channel and it's worked quite well for me over the years that I've been doing this. Lego reviews, never really done them. It's more Lego discussion videos on this channel. And, I'm not going to carry on doing that until I've got some assurances from YouTube or I've seen how YouTube and the FTC are playing this, whether or not they're suing every individual or whether or not it's just serious infractions. I personally don't think it would be worth their time to sue individual people. I think what's much more likely is that we'll get notifications from YouTube saying your video has been reported by the FTC, you must mark it as for children or remove it, and if this happens to you 3 times, your channel will be shut down, something along those lines. But I've made those private videos available again. They'll get significantly less advertising revenue, and there is potentially something even more serious than that you don't hear mentioned that much. YouTube are actually going to disable the comments and likes on those videos come January the 1st, I believe it is. Now, these are some of the metrics that YouTube actually use to work out whether or not a video is successful, whether or not it's got much interaction, and therefore whether or not to promote it to people and to give it a lot of chances of getting views. Well, if you haven't got comments and likes, you're not going to get those chances. So does this mean that any kind of video that could potentially be targeted at kids or appeal to kids, that's therefore labelled as for kids, is then not going to do well, it's not going to get any views? So they're essentially going to destroy these communities overnight. And there's something else that I just want to check on my laptop actually, to do with marking videos as for over 18s. YouTube, sort it out. You can label a video as for kids and also for over 18s. How confusing is that? What are we supposed to do with that? Please let us know. It's clear that YouTube don't know what they're doing and they're just passing the buck to the creators, and this could be a disaster. People on the internet keep going from everything will be fine to it's an apocalypse. I think it is somewhere between those two things, but I think it is potentially really, really quite serious. I think we may well see big channels, through fear mainly, not uploading the same content they used to. And it almost feels a little bit like an invasion of freedom of speech, doesn't it? You can't upload videos because then you can't make money from them. So, I guess you could still upload them, but what would be the point? So I'm just going to continue to upload the same crap that I always do on this channel, and once I'm certain that I'm not going to get sued for $43,000, then I will start uploading Lego discussion videos again. There are even more kind of grey areas, like I've got some Center Parks vlogs, which were quite successful, quite popular. I've labelled those as for kids now because, well, kids go to Center Parks, which is a kind of holiday place, so it could appeal to kids. You see the problem we've got here. It's really next to impossible to know what to do without consulting a solicitor. They're going to have to adjust their standpoint on this. So what can we do about it, finally? Well, I'm going to leave a link to a petition down below. It's a petition to the FTC to get them to change these ridiculous rules. They're clearly not going to work. They're going to ruin the content on YouTube, affect the lives of many YouTube creators and people who watch YouTube videos. So I strongly urge you to click on that link down below and sign that petition and try to make a change. Anyway, thank you to my short list of Patreons who donate more than $5 a month. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if you disagree or agree with me. I'll answer your comment because I'm good like that. I shall see you next time for another video.